Good morning.
Good morning.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Now in Chinese.
Now, I don't know how to say in Chinese. How do you say good morning in Chinese?
早上好.
早上好. Sao Song Ha. Sao Song Ha. There you go. All right, Sao Song Ha. So, that's a hairdo, man. To understand our unlikely hero, we have to understand the trauma of his past. So today's unlikely hero is named Mephibosheth. Okay? Try it out. Mephibosheth. And it literally means from the mouth of shame. That's what his name means. Okay? I tell this a lot to my Latin friends. They really ought to look into a person's name before naming them. I'm going to say it now in Spanish. Yo siempre le digo a todos mis amigos latinos que deben tener cuidado con el nombre que le ponen a la persona porque están profetizando. Entonces tenemos a personas que se llaman Dolores. ¿Alguien aquí se llama Dolores? Okay. So we got people that their name in Spanish is Pain. Is that a prophecy or what? I don't know. Dolores. Yeah. So, at 5 years old, his father and grandfather were killed in battle. Now, this kid came from a rich royal family. Okay? Rich royal family, but when he's 5, his dad and his granddad are killed. So I want you to close your eyes. Go ahead, try it out. Close your eyes for a second and just imagine the halls of a palace. Imagine a 5-year-old boy, the grandson of a king, playing in the corridors. He's happy. He has never known hunger. He has never known fear. He's the heir to a dynasty. Then in a single afternoon, the world shatters. A messenger, breathless and bloodied, screams through the gates. The king is dead. Jonathan is dead. The Philistines are coming. And in an instant, the palace transforms from a sanctuary to a death trap. Every person associated with the old king is now a target for execution. I don't want you to imagine the rest, but just open your eyes and now see this nurse. She's panicked. She has to take care of the little heir. He's royalty. Panicked, terrified, scoops up the 5-year-old, runs up the hills, but in desperation, she trips, falls. She drops him. He hits the stone floor with just a sickening crack. There are no doctors, no physical therapy, no mercy. She scoops him back up and disappears into the desert, leaving behind his royalty and his ability to walk. So he spends 25 years hiding in a place called Lo-Debar. Lo-Debar. It's a border town, a wasteland. Most border towns are. I know. I grew up in them. So the name literally means the place of no word. That's what Lo-Debar means. A place of no word. It's where people go when they Well, they've basically been forgotten by God and man. He isn't a prince anymore. He's a fugitive, living in the dirt, nursing a permanent physical and spiritual limp. Okay? So when the king's soldiers finally find him decades later and drag him before King David, he doesn't see his grandfather's friend. He sees an executioner. He falls on his face, looks at his twisted feet, and says, "What is your servant that you should notice a dead dog like me?" He's calling himself a dead dog. So he wasn't just calling himself names. He was describing how the world had treated him for 30 years. He felt like a dead dog, like roadkill. So, in the reading of 2 Samuel 9, and it's going to be a weird reading because it's 1, 3, 6 through 7, and 13. All in one. So please read with me. David asked, "Is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake?" Ziba answered the king, "There is still a son of Jonathan. He is lame in both feet." When Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, came to David, he bowed low to pay him homage. David said, "Don't be afraid, for I will surely show you kindness, and you will always eat at my table." And Mephibosheth lived in Jerusalem, for he always ate at the king's table. He was lame in both feet. Now we're going to do it in Spanish, and I'm going to do it slowly so y'all can follow me, okay? David preguntó, ¿todavía queda alguien de la casa de Saúl a quien pueda mostrar amabilidad por el bien de Jonathan? Ziba respondió al rey, todavía hay un hijo de Jonathan, es cojo de ambos pies. Cuando Mephibosheth, hijo de Jonathan, vino a David, se inclinó para rendirle homenaje. David dijo, no temas miedo, porque seguramente te mostraré amabilidad, y siempre comerás en mi mesa. Y Mephibosheth vivía en Jerusalén, porque siempre comía en la mesa del rey. Era cojo en ambos pies. The fall wasn't his fault. He didn't ask to fall. He wasn't playing. He wasn't being mischievous. It wasn't his fault. Think about it, because we all have limps in our lives. And most of the limps we carry, the insecurities, the trauma, the labels, come from someone else's panic. He was limp not because of him. He was limp because the nurse panicked, and it wasn't his fault. Someone else dropped you, and you've been living a Lodabar ever since. When my daughter was a baby, the first time she went up a slide, her mother yells out, "Be careful, you're going to fall." Really? I looked at her and I said, "Jump, you're going to have fun." And she jumped, and she fell. She landed right on her face. And the first thing she did was look up at me. to see my reaction. And I could see those little eyes, like it would go like this way or that way. I looked at her and I go, bravo, do it again. Yeah, get up there, go. And all of a sudden, you could see her mind going, oh, wait, so it's okay. So she gets up, went back up, and whoom, right at it again. But if I would have said, oh, baby, you could tell that she was going to start crying. To this day, I mean, she is just out there. She is so strong. She's always facing things. Those are the limps that sometimes people, not of our own fault, will give us our limps. Amen?
Amen.
The king initiated the search. David didn't wait for Mephibosheth to get his act together or to fix his walk. He went looking for the broken one. That's our God. He's not going to wait. If you're not coming to church because I'm not perfect, I've got so many things to fix first, I'm ashamed. How can I go to the house of my Father? That's exactly where you need to come. This is where you get fixed up.
Amen.
Now, the table, when he sits down, the table covers both feet. When Mephibosheth sat at the king's table, the tablecloth hid his broken legs. So when people looked at him, they didn't see a lame man. They saw a man eating with the king. So stop documenting your limp. Stop telling people, oh, I'm traumatized. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, No, stop. You're at the king's table. You are royalty. You are royalty. You are sons and daughters of the Most High God.
Amen.
I want you to turn to somebody and tell them, look them in the eye and tell them, you are royalty. You are royalty. Now here's a challenge. Turn around and tell your neighbor, eres realeza. Eres realeza. Eres realeza. Eres realeza. Stop telling God why you are a dead dog. People will actually stand up for that is hurting them, and they will actually defend, no, I'm weak because of this, and they'll defend that. Stop it. The king has already signed the decree. You are invited because of the covenant, not because of your condition. Amen? Amen. So please stand for the reading of the gospel. David showed kindness to one man. Jesus opens a table to the whole world. So let's read together from Luke 14:21. The master said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and alleys of the town and invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. Go into the country lanes and behind the hedges and urge anyone you find to come so that the house will be full. In Spanish, dijo el Señor a su siervo, Ved pronto por las plazas y las calles de la ciudad y trae acá a los pobres, los mancos, los cojos y los ciegos. Dijo el Señor al siervo: ve por los caminos y por los vallados y fuérzalos a entrar para que se llene mi casa. Keep standing for a while. This is why behind our series. This is why we're looking at unlikely heroes. Jesus is a master who doesn't wait for you to find your way to the palace. He sends His Spirit into the alleys in search of you, into your mess and our brokenness to pull us out.
Amen.
The gospel is the ultimate invitation to a table we didn't earn. We don't stand because we are perfect. We stand because the King has entered the room and called our name.
Amen.
Amen? And while we're standing, let's go to our hymn and worship. Praise ye the Lord Almighty.